Hello Zimbabwe, welcome to Livetalk Diaspora Forum, a platform where we discuss issues affecting Zimbabweans in the diaspora. We are coming to you live from Studio 7 at the Voice of America in Washington. I'm your host, Jonga Kandemiri. Decision by the South African government to approach the Constitutional Court seeking leave to appeal against the June 2023 Pretoria High Court ruling, which ordered Home Affairs Minister Aaron Motsoaledi to reconsider the termination of the Zimbabwe Exemption Permits program and follow a fair, lawful and consultative process. But first, a look at what's happening elsewhere. The migrant crisis in New York City, which began nearly 2 years ago with an influx of Venezuelans and other Latin Americans, has seen a tripling in the number of migrants from West African nations in the past year alone. Aaron Ranen reports from New York City.
In the New York neighborhood of Harlem, a group of West African migrants comes together at a nearby restaurant to relish traditional African dishes. This enclave, known as Little Senegal, warmly receives these newcomers, many of whom have faced arduous journeys in criminal gangs to arrive at this juncture.
I came from Senegal, went to Morocco, to Spain, to El Salvador, to Nicaragua, and from Nicaragua to Mexico. But there was a lot of trafficking. Before entering the bus, they stop you. They had guns. They put a gun on your head, demanding money. And if you don't have money, they will take everything from you. It's very difficult.
Upon arrival in the United States, many encounter harsh living conditions and, quite often, unfulfilled expectations.
Everybody probably think before you come to America, you think this is a place to be. The expectation for these migrants is we're going to America to better our lives, and the sad truth is when they come, it's a whole different story.
These migrants are required to undergo a waiting period of 90 to 150 days before they can be authorized to pursue employment, causing significant uncertainty for many. This recent arrival from Senegal chose not to disclose his name as he seeks a work permit.
We are here to tell you about our problem. We just want to work. We want working permits so we can work, and we will all disperse.
In their pursuit of the American dream, these migrants also find themselves caught up in the political landscape, especially with former President Donald Trump's aggressive stance against migrants who have come to the U.S. illegally.
But most of them have concern about what Trump is saying, especially talking about mass deportation. They're pretty concerned about that. So they're definitely aware of the political situation in the U.S. right now.
State Senator Cordell Clear is a Democrat representing West Harlem in New York City. She holds the view that the migrant issue transcends party lines and more help is needed from federal authorities.
We need to band together and do is make sure states like New York State, who's absorbed so much of this, get some funding from the federal government.
As the election season kicks off and the hurdles confronting these newly arrived migrants capture the media spotlight, what remains steadfast is their aspiration for improved livelihoods, particularly with the backing of the Little Senegal community. Aaron Ranen, VOA News, New York City.
Coming back home, President Emmerson Mnangagwa today received a donation of 25,000 tons of wheat and 23,000 metric tons of fertilizer from Russia. The donation comes at a time Zimbabwe is grappling with severe food shortages due to the current severe dry spell in Zimbabwe, fueled by the El Nino weather phenomenon. Mnangagwa commended Russian President Vladimir Putin for the timely donation and also congratulated him on his recent re-election, widely criticized by the West.
People of Russia have yet again extended the hand of friendship, solidarity, and support. This time through a donation of 25,000 tons of wheat and 23,000 metric tons of fertilizer. Wheat, yokulia, fertilizer, usakuninga. For the people and government of Zimbabwe, and indeed on my own behalf, I express my deep gratitude to my dear brother, the President of the Russian Federation, His Excellency Vladimir Putin, for the generous and timely donation to Zimbabwe. Allow me, by the same token, to take this opportunity to heartily congratulate His Excellency President Putin for his resounding victory in the just ended elections. Congratulations.
That was President Emerson Mnangagwa speaking at an event in Harare where Russia donated wheat and fertilizer to Zimbabwe. Dmitry Shonikov, Africa's Uralchem Group representative, told VOA Studio 7 that the fertilizer donation is designed to support farmers in Zimbabwe.
So today, the Uralchem group of companies is donating 23,000 tons of fertilizer to the people of Zimbabwe.
Okay. Now, how many batches of fertilizer did Uralchem send to developing countries?
So for now, we have sent 134,000 tons of fertilizer, of which 111,000 was sent to African countries in close cooperation and collaboration with the United Nations World Food Programme. So besides Zimbabwe, such countries as Malawi, Kenya and Nigeria received our humanitarian consignment of fertilizer.
Okay. And then to what extent has the project of assistance to developing countries been realized?
Yes. So we are in the process of realizing this project. The total goal is to supply 300,000 tons of fertilizer to developing nations. For now, we have supplied 1,034,000 tons to African countries. So there is still a lot of work to be done. And this work is always done in close collaboration with the United Nations World Food Programme.
Dmitry Shonikov is the Africa representative of Uralchem Group, a global producer of fertilizer and other chemicals. Please stay tuned as we take a brief break.
In times of change, when the world seems uncertain, and what we hear doesn't reflect what we see, we seek the truth. When we are told only part of the story, we lose trust. In moments of crisis, our dreams, hopes, and wishes for a better tomorrow depend on a free press. At Voice of America, we bring you the stories that people take risks to see. We connect the world and unite it with truth. At Voice of America, we show you the whole picture.
For those that have just joined our show, please note that we are streaming this discussion live on our Facebook pages, VOA Shona, VOA Studio 7, and VOA Ndebele. We are also live on YouTube, VOA Zimbabwe. Coming back to our topic for the day, we are discussing the move by the South African government to approach the Constitutional Court. This was to seek leave to appeal against a June 2023 Pretoria High Court ruling which stopped the termination of the Zimbabwe exemption permits, saying it had been unlawful and unconstitutional, and ordered that Home Affairs Minister Aaron Motsoaledi reconsider the termination of the Zimbabwe exemption permits program and follow a fair, lawful and consultative process. However, the Helen Suzman Foundation, on behalf of the affected Zimbabweans, has filed its papers at the Constitutional Court opposing the Motsoaledi application. the minister's action could have rendered 178,000 Zimbabweans who benefited from this program illegals. And now to discuss this issue in detail, we are joined on the line by Mr. Velempini Ndlovu, a legal expert, and Dr. Vusumuzi Suwanda, who is the chairperson of the African Diaspora Global Network, both men based in South Africa. Welcome to the program, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Dr. Suwanda. Thank you, Mr. Ndlovu. Yes, we also spoke earlier with Advocate Gabriel Shumba, who is the director of the Zimbabwe Exiles Forum. Vashumba tawabvunza mvunzo wekuti vanoti kudii nedanho rehurumende yeSouth Africa iri, uye vanoona ichibudirira here kudare guru repamusoro-soro reConstitutional Court.
uku kwangova kupara-para kuri kuitwa naminista wehome affairs, nokuti kana matare makuru akaita seHigh Court neSupreme Court of Appeal vataura nyaya yokuti havana kuteedzera zvaidiwa kunge zvaitiwa, ende chaingodiwa chaingova chinhu chidiki-diki, nokuti Constitution yeSouth Africa nePromotion of Access to Justice Act inoti kana usati wabvisa kodzero dzavanhu, nyangwe vakava vanhu zvavo vadiki vakaita sei, asi votanga wawa kuvanhu ivavo neyatinoti mastakeholders, vamwewo vangava nechokutaura pamusoro pezvinhu izvozvo. Saka havana kunge vazviita. Chechipiri, kesi yaminista yakabva yakanganisika pakuti zvakare havana kunge vatarirawo kodzero dzevana vevanhu vari pamaZimbabwe exemption permits, nokuti kana ukaenda kuChildren's Act yeSouth Africa inotaura kuti marights evana kana kodzero dzavo are paramount in any matter concerning children, kureva kuti kodzero dzavana dzinoiswa pamusoro kudarika zvimwe zvese. Saka ndezvimwe futi zvakatarirwa namatare eHigh Court neSupreme Court of Appeal. Asi vachinge vadaro vakati hatingarambidzi hake Minister of Home Affairs kuti aende kuConstitutional Court kana zviri izvo zvaanoda, asi ndinongoona sokuti apa vari kutambisa nguva.
That was Advocate Gabriel Shumba, who is the director of the Zimbabwe Exiles Forum, speaking from South Africa. And now to you, Mr. Ndlovu, what do you have to say about this latest development?
Yeah, the latest development is just the Minister of Home Affairs trying to buy time. I'm sure he's eyeing the 29 May elections because the ANC in the last government elections, they lost quite a lot of votes to parties like that of Helen Mashaba, which are xenophobic. So they don't want to be seen as people who, the ANC doesn't want to be seen as a party that is actually in support of the rights of people who are considered foreigners. So he knows that he's going to lose because his appeal or his stance has got no basis in law. Like, it was a simple administrative matter that said that he should just consult the people who are going to be adversely affected by the decision before making that decision. Mm-hmm. And then what he did, he actually made the decision to terminate the ZEP, and then he tried to consult later when he was now being told that what he had done was unlawful. So I think what he's now trying to do is just trying to say he's going to the Constitutional Court just for appearances, because he's going to lose. He's going to lose because there's no constitutional issue there. It's just this was purely an administrative action that he did without following the Promotion of Access to Justice Act.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much. Please do stay on the line. Dr. Suwanda, both the Pretoria High Court and the Supreme Court of Appeal recommended that Minister Motsoaledi consult the affected ZEP holders and stakeholders before appealing against the ruling. Did this happen?
Well, look,
Good evening. The truth is, the minister confirmed that he did not, consult. In fact, because there were letters that refer to the fact that as late as in October of 2021, organizations were still writing to him to ask him what exactly was going on.
Hello. Yes, go ahead, Dr. Swanda.
Yes. So, yes, I'm saying in that regard, so the stakeholders, the other organizations of interest, were basically, informing and trying to get him to come to the negotiation table and to discuss these particular issues.
Mm-hmm. Okay, go ahead. Hello. Okay. Let me go to Mr.
Hello,
yes.
sir.
Let me go to Mr. Ndlovu. I'll come back to you, Dr. Swanda. I don't know what's going on. Your phone seems like it's dropping here and there. Mr. Swanda, Mr. Ndlovu. Sorry, Mr. Ndlovu.
Yes.
Do you see that the court's decision for the minister to consult with the affected people who are the Zimbabweans, the ZEP holders and stakeholders, do you find that logical?
Yes, it's logical, but the minister did not actually consult with the people, because this is an administrative action that's going to affect those people. So even him actually appealing that decision, that he should actually follow the court order that said that he should actually consult with the people, but he has not done that. And even in some of the papers that he submitted, he didn't even depose of the affidavit himself. He got someone else to depose of the affidavit. So I don't know who's actually advising him, but at law he's getting very bad legal advice. That is the minister. He's getting very bad legal advice, because everything that he's doing is...
Oh, we have lost Mr. Ndlovu. While we are trying to reconnect with him, let's go to Dr. Swanda. Dr. Swanda. Hello, Dr. Swanda.
Yes, hello.
Yes, handise mubvunzo nerurimi rwaamai ndichiti tiri kunzwa matare ari kukurudzira vaMotsoaledi kuti vatange vanzwa kune zvizvarwa zveZimbabwe zvinove zvakabata magwaro iwaya eZimbabwe Exemption Permit pamwe chete nemasangano ari kuzvibatsira vatange vanzwa kana kugara pasi navo vachikurukura. Munoona zviine musoro here kuti hurumende inogara pasi nevanhu vairi kurwisana navo kumatare?
Kana tichitarisa mutemo unonzi Promotion of Administrative Justice Act, unova mutemo unobva mubumbiro remutemo yenyika yemuSouth Africa yatinoti Constitution yemuSouth Africa, Section 33, inoti nekuti hurumende ine simba renyika ratinoti state power, simba racho rakawandisa zvokuti inogona kunge yakuita zvekudzvanyirira vanhu. Saka pese painenge ichiita mitongo kana ichitora madecisions, anofanirwa madecisions acho kuti kana munhu asiri kufara aendeswe kukoti. Ndokasi politiki zvatinotaura kuti trials politika yacho zvinobhalansana zvinhu zvacho, kuti zvinenge zvaitwa nehurumende zvinofanirwa kuenda kumatare, kuti matare anyatsoona kuti vanhu ava havana kushandisa chitsimba kuti vaite zvavanoita, asi vatevedzera mutemo, nokuti mutemo unoti iwo pane nzira yekuti zvinhu zviitwe nayo. Saka izvozvo zvinotora zvinhu zvakakosha chaizvo zvekuti South Africa nemakoti painenge ichiteedzera mitemo iyoyi zvinoda kuti nyika dzimwe dzakawanda dzinyatsozvitarisa izvozvi, nekuti tinoziva kuti hurumende ine chitsimba chakawanda nekuti ine simba rese renyika, saka inogona kudzvanyirira vanhu. Kana pasina anozogona kumirira vanhu, vanhu vangatambudzika zvikuru chaizvo.
And Dr. Swanda, some people are saying that the South African government, through the ruling party, the ANC, is doing this because of the coming elections. And we know the elections are on the 29th of May. And do you think that the High Court would have entertained this matter in the courts before 29 May so that the South African government may benefit from the court ruling?
Well, look, it is very unlikely that the court will have dealt with this by the 29th of May. Obviously, for the same reason that parties have got to plead and dates have got to be given. But you will remember that we are talking about Minister Motsoaledi, who was the Minister of Health prior to 2019. And during that period, he had always shown his dislike for migrants or foreigners in South Africa. So it is nothing, I think, that is completely new. Yes, there is a rhetoric now because of fringe groups like Dudula, Put SA First, that are making too much noise. And because Mr. Motsoaledi is entertaining them, because he is by nature, a person who hates other nationalities. So this is nothing that I think is new. Or rather something that can really be attributed to these particular elections. Of course, because there is someone who is entertaining that thought and speaking to other people's ears, it will appear as if that is the case. But you will know that it had never been, the ANC position from time immemorial. We also know that the current president is a bit amenable because he has said a few statements that really have ruffled feathers to show his dislike for migrants.
Yes.
So it is just those people that have come into the fray that have got that dislike.
Thank you so much, Dr. Swanda. Rambai muri parunhare timbonzwa tine muteereri wedu wekutanga apinda muchirongwa. Hello.
Hello, manheru akanaka.
Maswera sei?
Maswera zvinofadza chose.
Ndianavo.
Auno anonzi Tatenda Chidzidzi.
Mukoma Tatenda, muri kupi?
Ndiri kuSouth Africa, Limpopo province.
Tinotenda, tipei tinzwe zvamuinazvo nhare isati yadonha.
Ya, ndizvozvo takativerenga paFacebook tichinzwa mamiriro enhau inenge iriko manheru nenyaya dzemazeki idzi. Tiri kungotarisira kuti dai zvinhu zvikaita zvakanaka kuti mapepa akange anoita zvakanaka kuti tigone kushanda zvakanaka nokuti upenyu hwacho hwekuti remene nhau dzemapepa idzi.
Chii chiri kunyanyonetsa panhau yemapepa mukoma? Chii chiri kunyanyonetsa?
Chiri kunyanyonetsa ndechekuti kana mapepa akasagadzirika zvakanaka ndezvekuti kufamba kwacho nekushanda kwacho kunenge kuchinetsa.
Yes, asi handiti makanzwa dare richiti magwaro aya neupenyu kusvika 2025.
Ya, zvinzi ane upenyu kusvika 2025 but kana achinzi haasi kutendedzwa kurinyuwa kana kuti haasi kuita sei zvinonge zvichizomira sei.
Ya, regai tinzwe maita basa mukoma, regai tinzwe tikande mubvunzo wenyu kuna Swanda, Dr. Swanda.
Okay, zvakanaka, inotenda chose.
Thank you so much. Dr. Swanda, you heard from our caller. He is worried that if the issue of permits is not dealt with timely, it will cost many Zimbabweans who are benefiting or who benefited from this program. Do you think that before 2025 things would have changed and in being in favor of Zimbabweans?
Well, look, before 2025, at this moment, remember that the minister has extended these permits to 2025 November. So the only thing that he can do is if the courts do rule in his favor, he is not going to extend them beyond 2025 November. And if the matter is in the courts, remember the matter is supposed to go to the High Court, but now that it has been escalated to the Constitutional Court, so the decision of the Constitutional Court is what is going to be binding on the inferior courts, rather than the High Court and the Supreme Court of Appeal. So that decision is very important. But at this moment, Zimbabweans that have got ZPP holders, they need to make sure that they've applied for the renewal, those that did not apply for waivers before November of this year, so that the extension applies to them up until 2025. That extension has got nothing to do with the court case. The court case, come win or lose the current ZPP permit, if someone has applied for a waiver, or they did not apply for a waiver, but they have now made an application for the ZPP before November, end of November this year, then that person will be here up until next year, 2025. Nothing will change.
Thank you so much. I want you to explain this in Ndebele, Dr. Swanda. Many Zimbabweans who are on these ZEP permits, they are worried that in the event that the court rules in favor of Minister Motsoaledi, this may mean the end of their stay in South Africa. May you explain to them the benefits of the extension from the court or from the minister to 2025 and what may happen later in East Ndebele?
Ake ngithi mina ukungezela kwesikhathi salamaphemiti awe-ZPP ngungqongqoshe wezasekhaya uDokotela Motsoaledi kusiya ku-2025 29 November 2025. kusho khona ukuthi naleli cala alithethe wamisa enkantolo ephakeme esisekela umthetho selizwe esikubiza nge-Constitutional Court nama isinqumo singabuya sithi hayi inkantolo ezaphansi i-High Court ne-Supreme Court zaphazama ungqongqoshe uzenze kahle kulokho akwenzayo akusho ukuthi amaphemithi asazonqantshulwa angaqhubekeli phambili kuze kufike 29 November 2025 ngoba leso sinqumo esiyenze uminister akasenzanga elandelela isinqumo secourt icourt yayithe uminister kufanele ukuthi kujuni.
Thank you, Dr. Sibanda. May I interrupt you? Sorry, I'll come back to you. There's a caller. We are taking in a caller, then I'll come back to you, Dr. Sibanda. Sorry for that. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, India now.
Yeah. Ndimutauri wakutaura zvenyama with permit.
Taura itinzwe mukoma tanzwa zita rarambira parurimi taura itinzwe.
Nyaya iripo nyaya yemapermit kubuda kwavanenge anonetsa inenge yaita sekuti politics like. But kunozotodewa kwasati pamapermit zvataibatsika pakuwana mabasa nepakushanda but ipo zvino hakusi kushandika hakusi kuwanikwa mabasa zvakanaka nekuda kwekunetsa kwemaworkers permit. Kwasatorongewa mapemisi yakuna kubatsirika ende zvinhu zvanga zvakatooma zvichiwedzera kutooma nyika yose hanekuti tichaguma tava kupi.
Asi handiti mapemiti akapiwa kara yemukoma muri kuda mamwe manyowani here kana kuti muri kutaura pane aripo yezvino?
Taitoda mamwe manyowani noti mararamiro atiri kuita chekuti katinde kuZimbabwe kundogara tonogara tichita chiya kuna chokuita chegone kuti ine drought yakaomesesa zvokuti kurara ndike zvakanaka.
Thank you so much mukoma regai tinzwe kune vadare vedu atinawo kuti vanoibata sei nyaya iyo. Back to you Dr. Sibanda, sorry for interrupting you. May you complete your statement, then we can move on the next question from the caller.
Ngisaqhubeka ndithi mina ama-permit lawa angezelele ukufika ngoNovember 29, 2025 akazi ukuphazanyiswa isinqumo senkantolo ephakeme uma ingavumelani ne-Supreme Court of Appeal kumbe ne-High Court ngoba lesi sinqumo asinani nokuthi i-court yayitheni ngoba i-court yayinikeza ungqongqoshe ukuze kufike ngoJuni walonyaka ukuthi aqale phansi uhlelo lokukhulumisana nabantu yikho lokho kuhanjelwe ungqongqoshe enkantolo ephakeme ngoba uyanqaba ukuthi akhulumisane nabantu. Ngakho sithi lenkantolo mayingamvumela ukuthi nelungelo lokuthi angakhulumisani nabantu ukakusho khona ukuthi ngeke ama-permit abanjani akhansele. Uma umuntu ene-permit esibiza nge-ZEP wa-aplayela lokho esibiza nge-waiver kusho khona ukuthi i-permit yakhe izoqhubeka kuze kufike i-29 November 2025. Kodwa uma lo muntu enga-aplayelanga i-waiver kuzodinga ukuthi a-extend a-aplayele i-ZEP entsha ukwenzela ukuthi iqhubeke iyofika mhlalabani 29 November 2025. Lokho kufuneka kwenze before kufike iNovember walonyaka.
Thank you, Dr. Sibanda.
Unga-apply isafika iNovember walonyaka kusho ukuthi ingeke iqhubekele phambili kuya ku-2025.
Thank you. 30 seconds Dr. Sibanda. Pane magwaro here matsva eZimbabwe exemption permit ari kupiwa nokuti muteereri anga achiti dai paita kuti vasina magwaro iwayo vanga vachipiwa kunyange zvavo achinzi anopera kushanda 2025.
Aiwa hapana magwaro matsva ari kupiwa ema-ZEP kunongori ivo vaya vanhu vanga vane ma-ZEP ari kumutirigwa saka munhu anga asina kuaplayira chatinoti waiver change changa chanzi vachiaplayire naminister ndiye munhu anofanira kuti anoaplayira kuti ZEP yake iextende kusvika muna 29 November 2025. Izvi zvinofanira kuzviita November wegore rino asati asvika vapiwa kusvika kupera kwegore rino. Saka munhu anga asina kuaplayira waiver akasaenda kunomutsidzira ZEP yake kusvika 29 November yegore rino okupera kwegore rino munhu iye anenge asisina permit.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sibanda. Thank you so much. Unfortunately, we are out of time. Thank you all for joining us on Live Talk. And I would like to take this opportunity to say thank you to our guest, Dr. Vusumuzi Suwanda, who is the chairperson of the African Diaspora Global Network, and Mr. Velempini Ndlovu, who is a legal expert. That brings us to the end of our show. Signing off in Washington, I'm Jonga Kandemiri.